Hey, raindrops. Yes. So, on today's Reality with the King, I am joined by one of the stars of my favorite show that I just so happen to have created, Love and Marriage Detroit. Yes, I have the beautiful and the one who reads the girl's appeal, Miss Colby in the building.
Hey,
It's the hey for me. Happy belated birthday, Colby.
thank you.
So you turn 31.
Yes.
Oh, girl, to be 31 again. I mean, how is life for you? I'm sure your life has changed tremendously since being on the show. Talk to me about what it's like being on Love and Marriage Detroit.
Being on Love and Marriage Detroit is a blessing. I'm happy to be able to showcase my love, my Black love with my Black husband. And I know there's a lot of controversy, with all of the couples and all of our love stories, but I think in full transparency, every couple goes through ups and downs, trial and errors. I feel like there's no couple that's perfect. And so just to be in a place to be able to showcase what our struggles look like, has shed a lot of light. I've had people reach out to me and tell me that, oh my God, I'm so happy you talk about it. Like, I literally have communicate on my refrigerator for my husband.
Communicate.
Communicate. So, just to hear people kind of being able to relate, to marital issues and struggles, and it just makes me feel good that Russell and I have been super transparent about our struggles in our marriage.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. This is y'all struggles in y'all marriage. And what I find to be so interesting is, listen, we love our fans and we love that people watch the show and are invested. So again, when you sign up to do a show, you know what's to come. People have made comments. Oh my gosh, these men are toxic. These ladies are weak. They let their man run over them. What do you say to people who think Miss Colby Chantel is a weak woman?
Oh my goodness. My husband will tell you that I am by far not weak. I think, you know, it's so crazy because they see a couple minutes of created content, right? Like we're filming for hours sometimes. And so, in order to capture that storyline, they're catching only a few minutes of us really filming. And so I think people just have this skewed way of viewing you based off of what they've seen. They've never interacted with you, they've never followed you on social media, they don't know anything about you, don't know anyone that knows you. And so to pass judgment on someone that you know nothing of is like probably a mental health crisis. Like, I really think you need some serious help, because how do you pass judgment on someone when you've never even had a conversation with them? And that to me is wild. So to say that I'm weak is just honestly not your place, first and foremost. But secondly, I think you need serious help because you've never even interacted with me to know that I'm a weak woman. I mean, I have to say, I'm just gonna be real, Carlos.
Honey, the show is called Reality with the King. So the first four letters of reality is REAL. So I want you to be real. Be real, sis.
Real.
Before we get into tonight's explosive episode, I want to go back a little bit. Did you know about the Love and Marriage franchise before joining the show?
I did. I did know about the Love and Marriage franchise. I followed for quite a while Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I seen the relationship unfold with Melody and Martell, and it started to become a little scary. I'm like, oh my God, like, what's happening with their love? What's happening with their marriage? And obviously there was some struggles on their end, and who am I to pass judgment on their relationship and what they've gone through? But I was, it was admirable to kind of see them be willing to share and showcase that when so many other couples have gone through the same thing that they've gone through, right? But it's never been publicized, or it's never been for the world to see it. So I was familiar with the franchise. I stopped watching probably a couple seasons in. And then when Love and Marriage DC came out, I started watching DC because I have a lot of family in DC and I just have roots to DC. So I wanted to kind of see what the DC franchise was all about. So yes, I was familiar with the franchise before Love and Marriage Detroit.
So when you got the call about Love and Marriage Detroit, were you like, say what now?
Yeah. So when I got the call, I was honestly like, at first, I was actually in Tulum. I was in Mexico, and I'm like, like I all
Who
I could
called?
remember.
How did you find out? Did Christina call you? How did it all work out?
So Christina did contact me. So she contacted me while I was in Mexico. She told me that there was a producer that wanted to talk to me about a show, reality show in Detroit. And like I said, I was in Mexico with my husband. I was enjoying, and I'm like, I don't know if I like really want to do reality TV. Like, I just don't know. And so Christina was really adamant about, like, follow up with her, just talk to her and see what she says. And I'm like, okay, sis, like, I'll see. And I'm talking to my husband about it. And my husband's like, yeah, no, like, we're on the beach. He's like, we're not doing no Love and Marriage. He was like, did you see what happened in Huntsville? And like, he's like scarred. So he's like, I don't know. I'm good. So when I seen that, obviously there was it was coming to Detroit, and I'm like, well, maybe this is an opportunity for it to be a little different. So the producer had contacted me again once I got back home, and we had a couple conversations, and then in talking to Christina, I had learned that the franchise had reached out to other people who weren't interested, and so Christina and Brandon did take that slot, and they were recommending couples that they thought would be a good fit. So yes, Christina did inform me about the franchise coming to Detroit.
Well, I'm glad you say yes. What was funny is this. I always tell people, because when we, for example, when we cast DC, and I may not have said this publicly, so I'll say it for the first time. One of the things that we do get is this gonna be like Huntsville? And I'm always like, what do y'all mean by that? And they always say, well, with Melody Martell. And I'm like, that was their individual issue.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you got the same issue, you won't be going through that. Which is why I think it's funny, because people talk about like Marcel and Tisha, like, are they going to uncover these rumors and what is it going to be? And I think what is so, look at my dog barking. Hold on, Godiva. I think what is so interesting is I tell the couples, we are interested in you guys because of your own individual story. And that's what it has been when it came to Detroit. And I really do feel like the three of y'all, the three couples, you guys represent the D in a very, very unique way. And I have to say, I'm very proud of this show. I'm proud of the three of you couples, because, the one thing that sometimes people say, which I always find strange, we don't know who they are. We don't know these. I'm like, did you know Martell? Did you know Tisha Scott before Huntsville? You guys, again, because DC had Monique Samuels from Potomac to launch the show, you had a familiar face, but not every show is going to be that way. But going back to the show, when did you realize to yourself as you were filming, oh, this show gonna be good? Like, I may not be happy this is happening, but I watch reality TV and this show gonna be good? Or did you never think that ever?
In full transparency, I knew it was going to be good when me and Christina had our moment at the park. I knew then, because when I seen Courtney and Brent walk out,
those are producers, guys. Go ahead.
When I seen them walk out with a smile on their face, and they was cheesing, and I'm over here blood boiling, tears rolling down my eyes, and Courtney takes me back to the back, and she's like, "It's okay, Colby, you got to get it out. Tell us how you feel." I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is probably going to be a really good highlight to this show, because I am laying it all out on the table." Okay. So yeah, that's what I knew for sure. I knew for sure, because I had never seen that reaction out of Brent or Courtney, which are, two big producers helping put the show on. I'm like, whoa, I ain't never seen them act like this. Now, I haven't been to all of the scenes. I haven't been on set for everything, but at least while I was on set, never seen them act like this. So that's when I knew.
Now, I'm gonna tell you when I knew, because I was in Detroit for the first week of filming. I knew at the anniversary picnic. Going back to that, when you guys were there, because again, you guys are new to this, and I love new cast, because you guys aren't coming in with an agenda. It's like, I don't know what y'all want. I'm just gonna be me. And I remember talking to you guys like, y'all ain't really doing nothing. Y'all not saying anything. Y'all not having real conversations. I feel like y'all like, because it was new to you guys. I knew at that lavender picnic, when you brought up the artist, I said, "Oh, baby, Detroit is about to be lit." When you were at the picnic, were you surprised at the reaction you received based on just saying like, "Oh, let's talk about the artist," because it was so innocent?
Yeah, I was very surprised. Like, I honestly did not expect it to go south. Like, I was definitely expecting a different response. I didn't know that the artist was a big secret. Like, my husband and I don't really keep secrets from each other in our household. So something like of that magnitude, I feel like Christina would be able to speak to it, right? Because that's his wife. So I feel like she could have said, "Oh, this is a new artist. She's from XYZ. Brandon is coaching her." Like, in my brain, in my recollection, like, I'm thinking this is his wife. Like, she should be able to speak to his new artist, right? I said the wrong thing, honey. I asked the wrong question. And I have to be honest with you, Carlos. I haven't asked any man since then what they do on their job. I have not asked. I'm not asking no questions. No, not asking no questions.
Permission to ask me.
I have permission to ask you what you do, but listen, I can't ask nobody else, especially with their significant other around, because I'm not trying to be in the middle of no more issues. As my friends will text me often, "Get your leg out my house." They have been saying that literally every week.
It's that damn Russell, honey. When you saw Brandon mock you, it
was the matching buns.
You said what?
It was the matching buns for me.
Were you impressed or insulted?
Honestly, it was an insult. I'm like, "Brandon, for real? Is that how I sound? Like, come on, be for real, Brandon. Be for real." But I mean, I guess, he is what is he again? I'm having an Anthony moment. What he do? Like, I can't remember. A music coach. He's a coach, I think, right? I seriously cannot remember right now, Carlos. I can't remember.
Colby, you are shit.
No, I seriously cannot remember. Is he a coach or like a trainer? I don't know. Producer? He's not a producer. I don't know.
I believe he does. I believe he's an A&R rep.
Okay.
He discovers talent, he grooms talent, and
yes, okay.
He's the conduit between the liaison between the artist and the label.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I couldn't quite put in the middle like exactly what he did. Like, I couldn't find the phrase for it. So thank you. I'm not throwing shade, Carlos. Please, I'm not throwing shade. I'm not throwing shade. I'm not throwing
Yes, you
shade.
are. I'm not gonna throw it back at you.
Here you go.
Well, speaking of shade, um, Colby Cat. When you were called Colby Cat, I literally, Colby, watched that scene a dozen times. And I'm gonna tell you why. Your reaction was priceless because you were like, oh, this is what we doing? Like, oh, we do it. You didn't like, you it took a minute for you to process, like, did this mother word? Like, this is what we doing. When you heard the Colby Cat, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
I was losing it, Carlos. I was losing it. I'm like, I am a processor. Like I have to retain information, get information and like sit on it, process it, dissect it, all the above. So I'm sitting there like, I know this man did not just call me a Kobe cat. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, nah. And my husband knows me so well, which is why when we're together, he levels me. Like you don't see me get loud when we're together because my husband levels me. But when we're not together, I'm still working on that ministry. Okay, I'm still working on that ministry. I haven't developed in that area quite yet. But when we're together, he levels me. So he was my peace in that moment. But I was honestly confused. Like I was thinking, like clearly he's said this before, or he's communicated this to someone before. He feels this in his heart. For him to repeat it in front of everyone, like he just did, like what is really going on? Like what do I really need to know? And more than anything, I was hurt because again, Brandon, myself, Russell, Christina, we've been connected for such a long time, and so it's like if you feel this way about me, like why didn't you sit me down, or why didn't you tell me like, hey, I've been noticing a trend in behaviors, or just something to kind of bring to my awareness as a friend, as a brother, but to like put me out like that on camera too, it's like now is there something deeper going on that I need to know about? So yeah, that's how I was feeling in that moment.
That sort of was the introduction to for all of us that something may be going on where, okay, Brandon, you're throwing shots at me. Obviously, you're trying to defend your wife, but it also makes you think like, okay, Christina, where are you telling your husband for him to even say something like that? Because it's not like he's pulling things out of thin air.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see you guys have the one-on-one in last week's episode where you and your fingernails were pointing up in the sky in Christina's direction, in her face, the camera guy's face. I think you poked our audio person in the eyeball, honey. So we got to file workers' comp later. But your fingernails, honey, was the star of this scene. One thing I know about you that I won't do, you're talking about you won't ask any man what they do at their job. I know now I'm not allowed to call anyone's husband. What was it about Christina calling your husband that made you set it off like Vivica, Jada, Queen Latifah, and Kimberly Elise?
You just went in on me, okay? Period. You know, I am not. That was not me. I'm gonna just say that was not me. Like that character. All of my friends from college written me up like, I ain't seen you step like this since freshman year in college. What's going on? Like I just had a flashback moment, and I don't know if it was just because my skin was boiling, the cameras was up, we had an audience around while we were filming. I got loud and then I got pissed, and I'm like, don't ever, like I just lost it. Honestly, I really blacked out. But for me, it was more of a respect thing. Like I had contacted you to kind of communicate with you, to kind of hash things out, all the above. You never contacted me back, but you found the courage, the strength. You pulled it from deep down within to call my husband after the skating rink scene that you never called me. You've never even called me. Why are you calling my husband? And my husband has told Brandon, we don't want anything to do with y'all. So why are you contacting my husband and you think that's okay? And on the context of what she called my husband for. Oh, I just want you to know your name is being dragged through the street. So you tell my husband that? Your relationship stands with me. Like, you and Russell are cool. Yeah, y'all bro and sis, but you've never called him. So what are you calling him for now? It just didn't make sense to me in my head. Like, you've never called Russell for anything. So now all of a sudden you calling him? Don't call my husband. So that's where I was. Don't call my husband. But I hope I set the record straight to let the people know, don't call my husband.
I was just about to ask you, do your female friends text you and know now, okay, bitch, we will never call your husband?
So it's so funny. All of my friends, like my couple friends, we all have group text messages and we all talk in the group text. I mean, I don't call any of my friends' husbands. My friends' husbands don't call one of my friends' husbands, he is funny. He will call me, but he be on some, oh snap, I meant to call Russell. Like he don't really be realizing it for real. But nobody calls me. I don't call anybody. None of my friends. Actually, I take that back. My best friend does call my husband, but that's different. It's totally different. I approve of them having conversations. They have the same birthday. I'm not worried about that. But none of my other friends ever call my husband unless they're doing something like the party that they just did for me.
Yeah.
Doing it behind the scenes without me knowing about it, then yes. But my friends don't call my husband. None of them do. My assistant, she does call my husband, but that's different. But my friends, no. None of them call my husband. A lot of
people are like, if you got issue with your female friend, then don't call that female friend's husband.
Yeah.
That's when they felt like, if y'all were in a good place, you called them, okay, I guess I can accept it. Because I did a poll on Twitter, because I like to see what the fans are talking about. And they all felt like, bitch, don't be calling my man if me and you got beef. So that's how they felt in the moment too.
Yeah. I think maybe it would have smoothed me over a little different had we not had that altercation. Like, had we not had that altercation and she called Russell to tell him about that, I would have questioned, like, why didn't you let me know? You know, because again, out of curiosity, why didn't you tell me? But I wouldn't have been as upset. No. So I do agree with the Twitter poll.
Okay. I bet you do. The thing we saw tonight's episode was
you're so funny to me,
show, baby.
BayBEE in my Carlos voice.
I mean, I love you so much. I love you so much. Well, we saw tonight's episode. You attended Kristina's event. Which we all was like, okay, sis, that was a great shit. We love seeing y'all, you know, get over it a little bit, you know, to attend. So we appreciate that. Then we saw Kristina and LaToya. Now, LaToya, we thought up until tonight's episode was like very meek, very mild, very sweet. Honey, Miss LaToya, her lime green outfit, honey, I'm gonna say trying to, her and Kristina were having a shade off. When you saw Kristina tell LaToya, or ask her rather, is that what your little degree got you? Did you gag like we did, honey, and clutch your pearls?
Ooh, I clutched my pearls. Oh my goodness. I know all of my sorors of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated clutched their pearls too, because it's just some things you really just don't say. You know, it's just some things you don't say. And I think that's one of those things that you don't say. And so the politically correct thing for me to say is, I think that was very much so insulting. For someone who has worked extremely hard to earn the accolades that she's earned, to kind of say that to her in her face, I don't know. LaToya obviously is much sweeter than I am, but she is a silent assassin. I've learned that about her. Don't get on her bad side. That's all I can say. I don't want to get on Dr. Thompson's bad side, because I've learned She's a silent assassin.
Me neither. Now, we can't talk about the reunion that we taped recently. All I'm going to say is Colby's right. Dr. Thompson is an assassin, honey, and she assassinates at the upcoming reunion. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, so I know you got to run really quickly, but I got to talk about your husband. One of the things that people are invested when it comes to you and Russell is the fact that he doesn't tell you things he's about to do, whether it's becoming a chaplain, owning a gym, buying a gym. Why is that something you think he just feels like he doesn't have to tell you before he starts the process?
I really blame it on him being the oldest boy and Russell's upbringing as the oldest boy. His father died when he was in college, and his sisters ran away when they were 15 and 16. And so Russell was the oldest boy in the house, and he was the one making all the decisions. His mom worked 2 jobs. He had to cook dinner. He had to take his siblings with him to practice. He had to take them to their practices. And so Russell's always been that leader, that head of household function for his own family, even as a 15, 16-year-old young boy. And so making some of those impromptu decisions just to get things done has always been his mindset. And now, yeah, at 35, he's still doing that. And Russell also, before we got together, he was a bachelor for 7 years. And so he had no responsibility to communicate with anyone, right? And so, you know, he's learning how to communicate with me. He's learning how to bring me into conversations. And that was just the truth. Like, you've seen it there. Like, he does not bring me into things until the last minute. And that has been a struggle in our marriage. And I must say, since we have finished filming, Russell has done a tremendous job of making sure that he is letting me know things on the forefront. I think, again, the show is a mirror for you. So, like, he was watching himself, he was watching some of his behaviors, and he's seen the feedback from fans like, Russell, I liked you, but you are terrible. Like, he's seen feedback from fans, and, you know, he was just like, dang, like, wow, I really do suck sometimes. Like, and he started making improvements. And I think sometimes it really just takes for you to see yourself and see how you show up before you can start executing change. And so he's seen himself and he's been executing change. And I am so proud of him because we have been in this thing for 4 years married. And now I'm just now starting to feel like I get to be at his table. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, that's good. So does that mean you're going to be a first lady now?
Oh my goodness, Carlos, must we go there? You know, I am going to be what the Lord wants me to be. That's not politically correct answer for you on this evening, Carlos. I'm going to be what the Lord wants me to be. I don't know what the Lord has in store for Russell in the future, but Russell is not going to be a pastor. So fans, please get that out of your head. Russell is going to the chaplaincy. There's a difference between a pastor and a chaplain. Now, he's going to the chaplaincy. Now, whatever the Lord has in store for him then on, we'll get there when we get there. But for right now, we're just going to focus on the chaplaincy and the army. That's the only thing that he's been assigned to right now. So we just got to take it step by step, line by line, precept by precept. Period.
I love the breakdown. And last but not least, you are being told that you may have the hottest husband from the Love and Marriage franchise. Now, we have Martell from Huntsville. We have Jamie from DC, and we have Russell from Detroit. So I don't want, obviously, go choose your man, but I want people in the comments right now, go in the comments, who is the hottest husband from the Love and Marriage franchise from Huntsville, DC, and Detroit? Let me know in the comments. And Christina, let the world know what they can expect from the rest of the season.
Christina.
Oh, I said Christina.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Carlos.
I am
Maybe.
a Carlos cat, baby. Let me tell you, bitch. Colby. The fans know what they can expect. I love it, baby. I love it here. Let the fans know what they can expect from the rest of the season of Love and Marriage Detroit.
So many great things in store for the rest of the season on Love and Marriage Detroit. You are going to see the big showcase. That is going to be so interesting. There is a person that I know pretty well that was a little interesting at the showcase. So you got to make sure you check out his mannerisms while he's there. And you know, you're gonna see some juicy stuff at the reunion. So make sure y'all got y'all popcorn and you got y'all pop, because you're gonna need some acid to get that popcorn down for that reunion. So I can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward to it. And I hope you all are too.
I watched it already and it's so good.
Is it? Oh,
It's explosive. It makes you cry. It makes you laugh. It's shady. It's a roller coaster of emotions. And it's the reason. Listen, I want to say thank you and the rest of the cast. I said this to y'all see at the reunion. Like, genuinely, I love this show. I love this show. And it's not easy to be part of a franchise where people compare you to the other cities. Detroit stands out on its own. People love the show. It's doing really well. It's truly magnificent. And look, you know, we'll see what happens. You know, season 2. You know, we'll see we get one or not. You know, I don't know. But what I do know is it's a fantastic show, and I'm really happy that the fans love it, that people love it, and they're tuning in every Saturday. So thank you, Colby, for saying yes to the mess.
yes to the mess.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Now,
Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate you.
anytime. Now let them know where they can find you, follow you, support you, you social media influencing star.
Thank you. I am on TikTok, Colby Chantel with 2 L's, KOLBYSHANTELL. I'm also on Instagram at Colby Chantel with 1 L. And I am on YouTube as Colby Chantel with 1 L. So follow me on all 3 platforms, and I appreciate all of your love and support.
Thank you, baby. And y'all can catch Love and Marriage Detroit every Saturday, 8 o'clock, 7 Central on the Oprah Winfrey Network. And if you missed the live episode, catch up on the OWN app on demand and your DVR. Okay? We love y'all, and we'll see y'all next Saturday.